Dear viewer, I am sorry to say that the commentary you're listening to is extremely unpleasant. It tells the sad tale of four very unlucky members: Pedro, Jova, Sheroy, and Dwibs. From the very first second when they're about to commentate on the 2004 film adaptation of Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, they'll be in for a woeful 107 minutes of wasted sets, an over-the-top sinister villain, a rush telling of the first three books, a fake deceptive opening sequence, the director of the 1995 Casper movie, and disappointing box office takings. It is our sad duty to watch this unpleasant, yet mercifully compressed set of tales. But there is nothing stopping you from stopping this commentary and listen to one about superheroes. But if you insist, then begin before the Nickelodeon Studios logo in 3, 2, 1, click. And now the moment when I remember this bit, seeing this in the cinema back in 2004, I was like, is this the bit that plays before the movie, or did I walk into the wrong screen?
Oh, you didn't see the Nickelodeon advertising this?
Yeah, I wasn't too shocked. That was back when Nickelodeon were cool.
Oh, stop motion.
Yeah, Nickelodeon kind of went downhill around 2008. The iCarly era.
Pedro, did you get the right video?
Wait, isn't this... Wait.
It's the right video, don't worry.
It's the right video.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Oh,
Jesus.
God damn it, Webbs. You were giving me a heart attack right now.
Yeah, that face is scary.
Jesus.
So, hold on. I thought we were watching a series of unfortunate events, not one of those reindeer stop-motion creepy
this
specials.
This is going to be one of those shorts before the movie starts.
Whoops!
No. I'm pretty sure it's part of the movie.
You're sorry to say? Oh, no, thank God. I want to watch that. Stop.
Yeah, I don't want to see that face. And it looks scarier in the dark, too.
Looks scarier than Count Olaf.
Who's played by Jim Carrey, if I'm not mistaken.
Who's Count Olaf? All I know is Jessica haircut.
We'll see.
Well, no, you won't see that until you start the show, unfortunately.
So,
I see what you did there.
So basically, guys, the movie starts off like a book. Well, okay, the description of a book usually starts, saying, well, it's never too late to leave, and then giving you a good description of what you're in for.
Yeah, pretty much. And Lemony Snicket here is voiced by Jude Law.
I'll be quite honest, I can understand why some people may have problems with this movie, but I'm actually keen with it.
Violet's played by Emily Browning. Basically, Pedro, she's that girl off Sucker Punch.
Oh, cool.
Wasn't Sucker Punch a bad movie?
Terrible.
So
it's a Zack Snyder. Deji, it was written and directed by Zack Snyder. That's all you have to know.
But what about Watchmen? That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, your mileage may vary.
And I've heard Legend of the Guardians was okay.
Yeah, it was okay, but that's just it. It was just...
Wait, the Owl movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie kind of bored me.
I'd say it was
Alright,
decent. So Violet's
anyway.
an inventor.
Klaus
here is a reader.
Klaus Baudelaire. Yeah, played by Leah Macon. And here's Sunny.
She has a specialty.
Yeah, Jova Snicket's already explaining it for us. We don't have to. Gah, eh? Is that even a word?
For her, maybe.
Yeah. And on comes Timothy Spall. Okay, if there's one thing that I do like about this movie, it's the production design.
Mm-hmm.
It certainly looks something.
Wait, hold on. All credits.
Why are you in every single one of these kinds of movies, dude?
Who?
Timothy Spall.
Yeah.
Let's see this. Sweeney Todd and
Harry Potter.
Wow, that's the obvious one.
So yeah, things could be going better for the Baudelaires.
And like Wib said, I like the way the sets look.
Yeah, although considering they're right in the middle of a town.
I've seen
Okay,
go ahead. Sorry.
Hold on.
Considering they're right in the middle of a town square, I'm surprised none of the other houses around it set on fire.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Convenient.
Dubs and Shiro showed me the pilot for the Netflix show, and yeah, from what I can see here, it seems pretty much to the point here. Yeah.
I will say this. In terms of why the other houses aren't as burnt, basically, guys, it's a brick house. Bricks are good at sealing in damage and flames. Hence why brick houses are actually rather expensive to live in.
Or it's just convenient. Plot convenience.
So,
mysteries that will
never get resolved.
We were going to explain, but the film was a bit of a box office disappointment, so it never got any sequels.
Wait a minute.
Let me check.
I'm doing it. Series. Events moving.
All right, go ahead, Dej.
Well, Dwib's checked before, so...
Yeah.
In the TV show, they have dropped quite a number of hints, and they've even outright shown us a few things throughout the first 4 books, so there's that.
Its budget was $140 million. It made $209 million in the box office.
Yeah.
That's not too bad,
It
but I will see why it's technically up since it needs to make at least double. Although, I'll be quite honest, I'm not really one to believe that films that, do make well over their original budgets are failures just because they don't...
But you have to consider how much they spent on advertising.
Yeah, basically the reason they say double is because they have to make...
It's kind of like
what they originally spent and make a profit.
You see, Job, it's kind of like with Batman v Superman. I mean, that movie, according to Warner Bros., we needed to make 1.2 billion, and it only made 800, I think. So even though it made a lot of money, it still didn't make as much as it needed, according to Warner Bros.
How much? And it had a budget of 200.
Guys, nothing. But this is.
Oh, wait.
Someone's brain's been removed. Yeah, that's Sonny's thing in this movie, and indeed the TV show. She's a snarky baby.
I don't see him coughing much.
Nah, I am coughing this one.
I don't know what's wrong with the Olaf. No, sorry, the Poe, sorry.
So, actually, guys, it turns out that that Nickelodeon considered the movie a success because it was their highest-grossing film under the Nickelodeon Movies banner until being surpassed by Last Airbender.
Yeah, but when you consider Nickelodeon...
Considering their higher-ups.
Now, here's the reason, apparently. Considering the success of the movie, the director and some of the lead actors hinted that they were keen on making a sequel, but no script was written. When I took the decision to take the movie, I said I'd obviously do it with the right to refusal. Blah, but they didn't want to talk about it until the first one was out. It's amazing the script has not been worked on for the sequel. I found it a bit baffling. Apparently, the main reason for this was because of the trouble they had getting the actors back for it, including Jim, Mr. I Don't Often Do Sequels, Carrie.
Dumb and Dumber 2. What?
Wait a second, I like this one from Sonny here.
Oh, yeah. Let's sleep outside.
You know what? They'd be in a better condition if they were to sleep outside.
That's very true.
Yeah. So, anyway, along comes the... Well, it's a bit of a base-breaking performance. You either like him because he's Jim Carrey, or you hate him because he's
Jim
kind of a bit too...
Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
I'm back in the 90s. I was a huge fan of Jim Carrey. Like, I still think most of his 90s movies are hilarious comedies in general. Like,
I'd say he also has his fair share of good movies, even in present day, too.
My problem with him in this particular movie is that while he is funny and Olaf does have humorous moments, he's too funny and it happens too often. So when the serious moments come, it's quite difficult to take him seriously.
I personally love him in this movie.
And there's a scene coming up later which kind of proves that point.
Yep.
It's it's like it's Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey. So
Well,
when
to be
he's doing
fair, well, to,
serious moments.
Hold on. Let Pedro speak.
well, to be fair, at the time Neil Patrick Harris was not popular. So what other Hollywood actor could have really gotten?
Oh no, I'm
Well,
not saying I'm not.
Yes, he was.
I'm-
How I Met Your Mother.
hang on, I wasn't going to suggest
Wait,
that they changed
what-
the actor. I meant
wait.
that they should have toned the
This will-
humor down a bit. That's all.
Well, this movie came out in 2004, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm pretty sure at the time.
I thought you meant like the Netflix show. I'm like,
No. I mean, at the time, there was no Neil Patrick Harris, at least not popular. I mean, so what other actor could they really get? I mean, this is pretty much the best choice in Hollywood at the time.
My dear Violet Klaus, whatever.
Honestly, I'll be quite honest. I feel that Jim Carrey brings the right sense of. I mean, no offense to the original series, but at times, Count Olaf felt a bit too cruel without any of the funny. I mean, maybe it's just me having watched the movie before the books, but granted, I feel that Count Olaf actually got the same kind of balance in later novels that you see here. A bit of that dark humor.
Let's be honest. The reason why people want to go see this movie is because of Jim Carrey. Look at the trailers. They just say starring Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey and Jim Carrey.
Yeah, most of what I remember the trailers, most of what they showed was just Jim Carrey.
And ironically enough, Jim Carrey is the main reason this movie is remembered, and you'd be surprised. There's actually a lot of people worried because, well, yeah, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of people were praying that Jim Carrey would reprise his role for the Netflix series. Now, Neil Patrick Harris looks good, too. By the way,
Oh, yeah.
A protagonist is a protagonist, but everybody loves a good villain.
Okay,
Mhm.
this bit here, when Carrie just said, do it again quickly while it's fresh in my mind. Carey added that bit because he felt he didn't get that bit right, so he did that other bit, and Silberling, the director, just said, "Okay, I'll just put that in."
I thought that was intentional because that's the kind of thing Olaf would do. Honestly, I didn't realize that was just put there.
Yeah, that's another thing. If Olaf doesn't officially have custody of the children, then why is Poe having them live with him now?
Oh, well, basically, Gibbs, here's how an orphanage process goes. Well, in this world, anyway. How it usually has gone in the books as well was basically about, as far as they knew, he was taking them in as well, just a place to live before making it actually official.
Well, actually, I don't know if Dwibs can clarify about the books, but in the TV show, until they get everything sorted out, they actually live with Mr. Poe.
Yeah,
Yep,
they live with
that's
Poe's
pretty
family.
much- Yeah, that's pretty much the case. Legally, they live with Mr. Poe's family until legal work gets sorted out. But Mr. Poe, being the ever wonderful banker he is, decides, let's let him live with the guy and get to know him.
Okay. TLC, eh?
Tables, ladders, and chairs?
I just knew you were going to make that joke, Deji. Oh yeah, that bit. That's gonna be a.
Oh yeah, that's gonna come back later.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
The tower. Ugh. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give Jim Carrey this. He can definitely put on a serious tone when he needs to.
All right. I love this bit here. Ethan Stewart. Oh god, dated CGI coming up in 3, 2, 1.
Wait, where was it?
That baby was CGI. The
Eh.
bit where she caught the thing in her teeth. Wow, his plates are so dirty. They have to use a scraper. All right. While nothing much is going on, I want to bring up a issue that fans have with this film, how it adapts the first three books. They tried to fit the first three books, which are around well over 100 pages, into 107 minutes. You can imagine what that would do to the film's pacing.
I'd
Yeah.
say that it adapts 1 and 3 well enough, but
No,
I can definitely
2.
see why people may have issues with how it adapts to it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like this movie, but having read the book of 2 after having seen it,
Yeah,
It
I mean,
suffers- Wait. It suffers from the same issue that the Ace Attorney movie suffers.
not even close, really. I mean, the Ace Attorney movie, at the very least, had the coherent story. This was about them actually taking one of the cases, well, okay, storybooks in this case, and taking out, 57% of it. At least with the Ace Attorney movie, the cases, for the most part, were left intact.
Nope.
Oh. Nope.
that's...
Nope.
Ah, there you go. Oh, okay. Another issue, an issue I personally have with this film is
Can we, wait, before you continue, can we not bring up the Netflix show, because at least that has time to adapt something?
No, I was just going to say, just for this movie, I have a bit of an issue with Count Olaf's henchmen in this film.
Hmm?
They have very little, if none, in the way of personality.
Well, what do you mean?
They're just generic mooks with their hook hands and stuff, but they don't really have any moments of their own to do anything really.
To be fair, that was kind of the case in the first 3 books. I don't think they were even really in the second and third books.
No. Hell, the one that looks like neither a man nor a woman in this film doesn't even have any lines.
Did they have a line in the first book?
Well, each of them had their own lines.
Yeah, but did they really have that much presence in the first book? I mean, don't get me wrong, they definitely had presence in
they had
later
a bit.
books, but I mean,
Did they leave enough to leave? Did they have enough to leave an impact?
I'm gonna say personally, in the first 3 books, they didn't really have that much impact. They definitely have more impact in the later books, but I'm gonna be quite honest. I can sort of see why they don't have as much presence in this movie.
Especially since it's cluttered enough.
Well, then why have them in the movie then?
Because they're
Because then
still
we'll get
needed,
people like you
technically.
complain that he doesn't have any henchmen.
Oh yeah, that too.
And
And
Jim
Timmy-
Carrey's flawless Tyrannosaurus impression.
And webs, not for nothing, but and now you know how a lot of comic book fans feel about certain bad adaptations. There you go.
I know, right?
So, dinner's served. Let's see how Olaf reacts to it. By the way, I actually like Thomas Newman's score in this film. I wonder if that's what Shiroi's having right now.
That's funny.
Oh, by the way, Klaus said earlier, Puttanesca's Italian for very few ingredients. No, it's not. It's actually Italian for horse sauce. And you don't have any roast beef in. In the book, we originally meant to go out and get some supplies, but we left that bit out because we're in a bit of a hurry. And my wallet because I have no money.
But yeah, he
Wait,
has a
he did it
big
with
house.
his heart.
Well, knowing Olaf, Deji, he probably just pretends that he doesn't live in there or something.
Yeah, so that's how he escapes the NRA.
Yeah. Okay, here's an issue me and Shiori were on about earlier. See, look, he's doing his shtick.
Huh?
So he's doing his whole, Jim Carrey shtick of being nuts. But then we're supposed to take this bit seriously right now.
Yeah, so I mean, I could see
I
that someone
I
would
don't
take that
know. I
seriously.
mean,
He's supposed to be crazy. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean,
He wasn't
honestly,
he wasn't like that in the books, though. I mean, have you ever read it a bit in the books where he just
Okay,
he just
I
he
know it's
just
an
goes
adaptation.
ga.
Look, I know it's an adaptation, but there are some creative liberties they can take.
yeah, and I'll be
Not
quite
everything has to be 100%.
I know, but I don't necessarily agree with this one though.
Again, Dwebs, now you know how some comic book fans feel. How does it feel
What
to
movie are you referencing?
How does it feel to be on the other side, Dwebs?
What are you
Well,
referencing?
does that make my points any less valid though?
Well,
No,
honestly,
it doesn't, Dwebs. But I'm just hoping from that perspective you'll be able to at least try to understand comic book fans for now.
Yeah, also,
now on.
dudes, I'm gonna say, I mean, I'm sorry, but I mean, not liking Olaf in this movie strictly because, he's not exactly like the books. I'm not gonna say, like, well, that...
No, I'm just, even just in the context of this movie, you were just doing babbling shit like 5 seconds ago, and then all of a sudden it all just jar.
That's the whole point.
Well,
Crazy people.
that's part of his
A jarring
character being
tonal
in-
shift into
Again, crazy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dweebs. You can't really critique an insane character for, acting insane and
I know, but it was never like that in the books. though.
I know people who would do that, who do stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, no, but Deji, this is supposed to be a book thingy,
Well, dweebs, he still has mannerisms from the book. They just add in a bit more humor to it. I mean, honestly, I'm not really seeing that really big an issue. I mean, he still does it, and honestly, if anything, like I said, come on, Dweebs, even the book counterparts started to become a bit more humorous in later novels too.
My issue is just really, there's a time and a place.
Agree to disagree.
See now this bit is actually, if it's a little bit short, yeah, but I do like this bit with the sanctuary coming up.
My sanctuary. Sorry.
Is that a reference to something?
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Kingdom Hearts 2. High five. Sanctuary for all those people who only played the mainstream Kingdom Hearts games. They've played 1 and 2, and maybe some have played Birth by Sleep, but...
Personally, I think people like to keep things simple and clean.
It's the way I can see it to feel tonight. It's hard to let it go.
Oh, Jesus Christ, what are we doing?
Dang.
Yeah. Well,
It's just a... Wait, where's just the Strauss?
she's not coming back till like the last act.
What?
I just thought it'd make more sense since she's technically the judge, so...
All right, now this bit here, okay, on its own, it's a really exciting scene, but it's another invention the screenwriter came up with.
Which I guess works because, see, in the first book, actually, I should probably mention it. Let's just say that the first book kind of has all its events meshed together. Whereas the events that take place in the first book sort of are the beginning and end of this movie. So this is, of course, the means to segue into the later parts.
That and I guess we kind of needed a bit of an action scene in this kind of movie.
But hey, Count Olaf is trying to warm up to them, giving them a treat.
I'm
Keeping
looking in the
all
car
nice, locked, and safe
In the middle of the road.
on train tracks.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Inside the car. Inheritance, law, and you.
Yeah, maybe you should have had that. Get that book.
Well, actually, Deji, he left it to taunt them.
Because, yeah, he is that kind of guy. He'll rub it
Yeah.
in your face.
Oh yeah.
You have a train to catch.
Unless the train catches you first.
Call to draw.
It's 11:45. Good morning. It's 11:45, and in today's news, the 3 Baudelaire orphans have died when a train hit them. In the car
There-
suspiciously parked right on the railroad tracks, according to witnesses.
Count it. Their caretaker, Mr. Count Olaf, mentioned that he was unbelievably, indubitably shocked, for he had just gotten out to get them a treat, but for some odd reason the locks had been vandalized with. Oh, hi, little elf.
All right. Okay, off we go. Okay, now this bit here, it actually, my issue with the situations the Baudelaire orphans find themselves in later is that in the books, in the original books, they the Baudelaires rely on their talents and their wits to get them out of situations. The problem with a couple of action scenes in this movie is that they more than often rely on luck.
Well, hasn't that always been the case in the books?
Yeah, there are some assholes. Let's be real here.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
come
there
on.
are some, but in a lot of cases it takes them like a number of attempts to try and sort something out. And it's not always 100% successful, even when they do manage to do it.
Well, that is kind of the case.
This movie is the total opposite, aside from one.
Like this scene.
There we go.
Define total. Actually, no, I probably shouldn't mention that this scene's actually pretty cool.
Okay. You actually do like how Klaus figures out stuff, because remember the movie established earlier that he remembers everything he reads, so the book's being pulled out like in a library, like a brain, yeah.
And to be fair, in
Why
situations
can't you
like
just
this-
break the glass?
That's what I said, actually, before.
I guess it's because they're children, I don't know.
Shoes!
But again, we need the Baudelaires using their knowledge of reading and biting and inventing.
Also, to be fair, we don't know if they're actually strong enough to break glass. I mean, yeah, okay. For as many action movies as we may see about people, trying to break glass isn't exactly as easy to break as you may think it is, just because an action movie can do it.
And they can't exactly pull the locks out of the thing because they're too deeply embedded.
So,
What was that, Deji?
I said, Joe, consider where we live. Yes, it is.
Well, to be fair, Deji, those are full-grown adults that do that. Kids.
One
And
thing could be that they don't want to risk Sonny getting hurt by any
yeah,
charge. I
That
guess.
too.
Yeah, we don't want to get her hurt, even though our lives are in danger.
Deji, they care deeply for her. Also, to be fair, if they punch it the wrong way, that could cause a lot of blood loss, and that could kill them there too.
yeah. No, Olaf would actually
Hey,
have
it works for Olaf.
Excuse. And I love this bit. How it transitions from, yay, I'm successful to A.
Where's Pedro?
I'm here, thank you.
Series of unfortunate events, chapter 15, sorry, the pessimistic Pedro.
Actually, hold on, Dibs. What Shiro said actually does fit what I'm about to say because it's a Jim Carrey movie. Did you miss me? I think not!
Long time no see.
Kiss.
That is my response.
Yeah.
Aw, that is...
Yeah, not
Okay.
the fact that the car was on the fucking train tracks.
That good old Mr. Poe for you.
Although I know he's the banker and he's in charge of the Baudelaire's affairs, but I'm surprised he has the clout to go against a court order.
Well, like I said before, local authority has precedence over legal guardianship.
I guess. The crocodile tears.
Maybe Mr.
He's
Poe
crying
didn't
that he
shit
lost his money, the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god. This,
Okay.
Yeah. 17 minutes, guys.
Okay, again, maybe it's because I saw this first as a movie, and I'll be quite honest, I'm not quite that annoyed by it. But I will say this, if you are a fan of the second book and we're looking forward to it, I don't know how you're going to feel. Granted, though, For you, Pedro, you might not be affected because, well, this is...
Well, the movies. Well, like I said, the movie seems fine enough so far. I mean,
Yeah.
Hey, it's Billy Connolly.
Billy.
Yeah.
Yep.
This movie has quite the cast, actually.
Even in the cameos,
Well, the
there
Netflix
are
show also has a stellar cast.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Billy O'Connolly, your resident discount John Cleese.
So, do you guys feel comfortable around reptiles?
No.
I don't get me wrong, I like Billy O'Connolly, but a lot of times in movies he tends to try to be a discount John Cleese. I mean, just look at him and listen to him.
See ya.
Who still uses fax in this day and age?
We do.
some companies still do.
Yeah, I know. It's just like I never seen anyone use a fax before in the last few years.
Also, yeah, I know. I timed when me and Sherry watched this, just on our own on Netflix a couple of days ago. Yeah, I timed it. It's a bit fast. He just got here.
Yeah, in the show they didn't mention that for quite a number of minutes.
To say
Near the end of part 1.
Yeah.
Because there was a reason.
Yeah.
Admittedly, though, to this film's credit, they do naturally change up the events to at least make sense as to why he's mentioning it earlier.
So are these real or are they CG? Never mind.
Some of them are real, some are CGI. Whoa, it's me.
Oh boy.
It's me.
The incredibly deadly Viper.
Irony.
Guys, when I first saw it, for some reason, I thought the Viper was the tree. I mean, look at them. That one's shaped like a snake.
Well, snakes are supposed to blend in.
So, thank you for joining us on our commentary of Anaconda. I hope you come back to watch us for part 2.
No, that's actually scarier than any of this.
Ooh.
Well, at least it's not as scary as Angela Anaconda.
Oh, you remember that show?
Oh my god, I remember
Fuck
that.
you.
That show was oh goddamn it, that show. Jesus Christ.
There.
Don't worry.
Is that Hick Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon?
Well, it's from Paramount, and How to Train Your Dragon 1 was kind of from
Pedro.
there too.
The incredibly deadly
Not
Viper.
just Paramount, it's DreamWorks.
So there you go, Pedro.
Yeah.
The incredibly deadly Viper is actually harmless.
Wait, listen. Or more specifically, he doesn't want anyone else to take credit for the discovery.
Yeah. Not to mention, it's not explained here, but in the book and indeed the TV show, the reason why he's doing the prank is because he's fed up of all of them making fun of him because his first and last names are Montgomery. Basically, they'll say stuff like, hello, hello, Montgomery, Montgomery. How do you do, Montgomery, Montgomery?
Is his middle name Montgomery?
I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe. Yeah, the spyglasses thing would actually be in the Netflix show too.
Except they'll actually explain it there.
Wait, hold on. They actually do explain it here in this movie, too.
My teeth are at your
Well, they
service.
do, but they never come of use here.
Actually, they technically do come into that bout of use, remember?
Hmm.
I never actually saw an Alto Heart being played before I saw this film. In fact, I forgot what it was till I've rewatched it.
Oh, might as well mention now. Apparently this movie was supposed to get a sequel, but wouldn't you know, it got delayed due to corporate shakeups by Paramount Pictures. And sadly, by the time they were actually ready to make the sequel, the lead actors had gotten too old.
In fact, one idea they had was to make a stop-motion sequel.
So there you go, Pedro. The reason this didn't get a sequel was because of good old Paramount Pictures, the same folks who would later go on to help Last Airbender be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Buy things. Yeah. Well, there isn't a very fancy word for biting, I don't think, so...
Nibbling.
That's
That
kind
sounds
of
wrong.
a bit different from biting.
Well, guys, that's the end of the movie. What are your final thoughts?
Wow, that was a relatively
This was a
happy
waste
ending.
of 20 minutes.
That was a surprisingly happy ending.
Oh, no, wait, he says he wished he could type it.
So yeah, that was a series of unfortunate events. That was a really short movie.
Actually, Pedro... Yeah.
I have a
And
shitty
there's-
life.
And there's 13 books of this shit live.
I
Yeah.
forget. How far was the series actually into the making?
I
when
think
this
it was
movie
in
came
it. I
out?
think it was in its 11th book.
Hmm.
See, look, they're all happy. What could possibly go wrong?
Jim
Oh.
Carrey! Oh, God.
I love his voice.
Although, to be fair, I think this is actually... I think he went into more effort with this disguise than
Unlike the
the TV
Netflix
show
series.
often. Yeah.
Or the book as well in this one.
Olaf's best disguise in the TV show is the one from the 4th book.
Oh,
And the
that
boat length instantly saw through him.
Yep.
However, here's the problem, though. In this world, people don't listen to silly little children with their silly little imaginations.
And in the TV show, all the adults are morons.
Well, it's a common thing in media starring kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Never run with knives. Oh yeah, I love this bit coming up, explaining what happened to his other assistant.
Oh, yeah.
He's a bit tied up at the
That's
moment.
really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Olaf, the more you talk, the more you're kind of blowing your disguise here, mate.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the idea.
Simple.
$43,700 times, man.
I think that's more times than Nick got stung on the face.
You can't be buying this.
Neurologically challenged.
Well, he's not completely lying about that.
Nope. See, they do make reference to the spyglass, although I reckon if they'd have had more movies, they'd have been able to go a bit more into them. But since they never
Well, I
got
think
any
if
more
they did,
movies,
yeah, that was
well,
that was the plan in the first place, but
yeah, that never happened. At least not on film, anyway.
and that wouldn't have been so bad because I think you said they didn't fully start to throw the organization stuff at you until the 5th or 6th book.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I wouldn't be too upset about that if this movie had a sequel, but the fact that it doesn't is
Yeah.
okay.
I had the kipper in my mouth. Ew. Okay, one thing about this, about the series as a whole, book, film, TV show, whatever, is that it's like Professor Layton. You can never really tell what time period it's set in. I mean, it's got old-fashioned architecture, yet it references TV and internet.
Because, I mean, how old is National Geographic?
Quite a bit old. I think you've outed yourself there, mate.
Oh, I had a custody battle over my ex-wife over our pet python or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Guardianship over my snakes. I wonder if there are any snakes that you milk.
Yes, there are.
Why are we bringing up the... Whatever. Moving on.
Well, Monty brought it up.
Yeah.
Well, he was doing it as an offhand thing. You chose to focus on it.
No, don't touch that. Oh. There. Okay, off he goes. He's still watching.
Okay, basically, when they say milking a snake, it's an expression for extracting venom.
Yep.
All right.
Not milk as in cow milk kind of thing.
There you go.
Yeah, you weren't gonna.
No, Monty, no!
You had it half right.
Oh, yeah, I love this. There's this bit me and Shiori came up with. But the sun's still up.
But the sun's still up.
It's still up, though.
Part of me saying, but well, I get that you guys may not be particularly fond of this movie. It does sound like you kind of still enjoy it to a degree.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm fine with the humor, like the characters and everything. It's just the pacing and, too much is left out. And I get that for certain adaptations, some things have to be removed. I understand that. But
maybe they should
it's
have
wrong here. It's wrong.
Maybe they should have
If you remove too much to the point where it
Last Airbender, yeah.
well, I don't even have to bring that up because that's not an adaptation. That's
In general.
but that's the thing, Joe. The Last Airbender is not an adaptation. It's diarrhea that came out of Shyamalan's asshole. So
If you remove so much, if you remove too much, then if you try making any sequels later on, and you plan on using stuff from later on in the series, you're kind of gonna have a bit of a battle on your hands.
I will say, though, that thankfully, unlike Last Airbender, the books, for the most part, while they do have a slight bit of continuity, aren't that integral to each other. So to the point where I do think that, if they had made a sequel, I do think that they would have definitely have improved on the formula.
I think they shouldn't have gone with the adapting 3 books. Instead, they should have done 2.
Yeah,
Okay,
they should have done 2. Trying to throw
2 would have been better.
Yeah, but 3 though, they kind of stretch themselves.
Okay,
and coming up now, this is where the pacing just kind of goes a bit extreme. Hi, Lemony. You see, they just see in the originally, they take their time in piecing together how the murder actually happened, but here they just kind of rush through it in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll be quite honest. Well, definitely would have been
Hey, Cedric the
preferable.
Entertainer. So go on, Jova.
Is that Cedric the Entertainer?
Yeah.
Yes, Deji, we already covered that. While it would have been preferable that they had done, 2 movies, they could have fit the 3 in because, let's be quite honest, this movie is only 107 minutes. They could have installed quite a bit more time and dedicated it to this part of the movie.
Yeah, no, but fact is they didn't, so...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, 1 second. There's a line coming up here I want to address.
Okay.
I think Dwibs might know the one I'm talking about. Although I may have... Oh, no, it's here.
So basically, they're...
Wait.
Hang on, let's see what I speak.
All right, it's in a few minutes, but I'll explain it now anyway. Basically, Violet calls out a man for being Count Olaf's assistant. Unlike the TV show, they don't bring any assistants into the... Oh. Yeah, they don't actually show us that he's his assistant, whereas in the TV show, they're actually there for quite a while.
I think, like you said earlier, the problem with the whole this being resolved quickly is because this is supposed to be like a mystery sort of thing.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Premise of the show, so it does. Did I say show? The series. So it does feel.
Feels it's really rushed.
Yeah, I do agree. It's like, and what's weird is like, well, I don't get why they cut it. I mean, it's not like they had to cut for a better running time because, like, well, they were only at 107 minutes, so.
Well, they did. They heard that Peter Jackson was making a 3-hour King Kong movie, and they're like, nah.
Well,
screw it.
it's not so much that, Jova. One of the things about Hollywood that I don't really get is that Hollywood seems to have this thing where you cannot really have a family film that's 2 hours long. It needs to be around the 90-minute mark. And I don't understand that mentality.
They weren't even. Okay. Well, no, I'm sorry. That's stupid.
I know.
It's
I
really
agree.
stupid.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
yeah,
But there's this thing. I mean, let's think about this, Jova. Aside from a Studio Ghibli movie, which of course comes from Japan, tell me, can you think of a family American-made movie that reaches a 2-hour mark?
Well, a lot of people consider some Marvel hero cinematic movies.
I love this bit from Poe. He still doesn't know it's a laugh.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Pedro, the problem with that is like, well, these days your mileage may vary in what you consider some family movies. Like a lot of people consider MCU flicks family movies, even though they're technically rated PG-13. Because, okay, here's the thing: while of course some ratings are there, ratings are, well, we have to remember at the end of the day, strictly just advisements. I mean, yeah, PG-13. It's advised that you be that age.
So
Doesn't
yeah.
have to be.
So yeah, 190 pages in 17 minutes. Not exactly the best combination, but the third. This is now we're in the third book, The Wide Window,
And it gets the
this-
most attention.
yeah, oddly enough,
Well, to be fair,
get it oddly enough because there's a third book and there's an odd number.
well, to be fair, guys,
even though it's the weakest story,
is it?
to me it is.
Oh, well.
And we got Meryl Streep.
I wonder if this is her acting all paranoid because she knows she's going to be in Mamma Mia sooner or later.
Oh man,
She's so paranoid.
it's just
Yeah, basically, Aunt Josephine's gimmick here is that she's terrified of absolutely everything, whether it makes sense to be afraid of it or not.
But wait till you see her greatest fear of all.
Not of, like, fire or being electrocuted or freezing
yeah,
to death.
But yeah, definitely from now on, the pacing's handled better in regards to how they adapt stuff. However, I'll be quite honest, lady, no wonder you're terrified. You're on a house where the majority is built over a cliff.
Which is funny, though, because it was, as we'll learn a bit later on, Josephine was actually quite the adventurous woman.
Yep.
Okay, now this bit coming up as a bit of a nitpick, but I should address it still. She didn't say Delmo. She said boar.
Actually, it sounded a bit like Delmo to me.
It didn't.
I guess your ears may vary. Wow, I never thought I'd be saying that today.
She's the mayor of Crazy Town.
Yeah, it's better than being the mayor of Lazy Town. You have to deal with that Robbie Rotten character.
Yeah. What next? I'm surprised you can open the cupboard, saying, "I'm afraid the cupboard door will hit me in the face."
Or that it'll splinter me or something.
What do you think this is, lady? Indigo Prophecy?
Yeah. Yeah, Ike, her husband, or her ex-husband. Yeah. You see, Jova, you can like a movie still, but you can also say what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
Because
Yeah.
my only problem with the movie itself
Oh my god,
is the
Dwibs,
but everything else is fine for me.
Dwibs, you finally realized what me, Pedro, and Tio had been telling you the entirety of Eternal Sonata.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm a bit shallow, I know.
I wonder how
Oh.
the hypocrisy will come in when we eventually get to Undertale.
I think Dwebs is having a real
No.
a self realization. I think Dwebs is having a self discovery moment right now.
Oh God, I know I'm a bit of a hypocrite. It just happens.
Okay, sure, I'm actually
For
curious.
me, when I was bringing in the hypocrisy was when I was referring to Jova, but jokingly.
Yeah, oh yeah, I get that. I wonder though.
Okay, this is one thing I actually like better in here than in the TV show.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
here the window's actually wide.
Freaking 007 on this son of a bitch.
What?
That looks like the opening to James Bond.
Well, actually, Dweebs, it's kind of a
Dweebs?
small opening, and then he shoots you.
Twibs. Deji said it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he misspoke. Don't worry, Dwebs.
Just because
Also,
we
I
don't
think
have
that Beryl is
D-
better at the crazy role.
Just because we have D's in our name doesn't mean that we're
Yeah,
the
Alpha-
same.
Alfred Woodard is fine, but I mean, comparing anyone to Meryl Streep, really, of course Meryl Streep's going to be the better one.
Ugh, leeches. Well, not your average leeches.
But don't you see, Deji? Deep down inside, we are all the same.
See, this town has man-eating leeches, and there's a sort of time when they come out. Unfortunately, her husband didn't pay note to it.
Why would you live in a town with man-eating leeches, though?
Well, who knows? Maybe it's the real estate, maybe it's where they lived or grew
No,
up.
don't talk about real estate, Jova.
Oh!
Yeah, remember that, Jova?
Alright.
Well, it's on a cliff for a start.
Wait for it. Her greatest fear, Pedro, is realtors.
Oh yeah, this bit coming up. Coming up is a little Jane Lynch cameo.
Hey, Jane.
Wow.
Jesus, Jane Lynch ain't that scary. Come on. All right, now to the market.
To be fair, she was shown an episode of Glee.
Actually, she wasn't just in one episode. She was one of the the primary character. Well, and
No. When he said Jane Lynch isn't that scary, it's like, oh, she showed her glee. It's like, no.
Okay.
And now we've got Captain Sham.
Sham.
All right, but here there was actually a deleted scene that I wish they kept in as to what happened to the other captain of this town. Basically,
And also in this... Oh,
Sorry,
no,
go
go
on,
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Basically,
You go ahead.
Captain Sam got drowned in the lake.
I guess you can say his
That's not
ship
bad.
has sunken.
Anyway, you gonna say, Shuri?
Yeah, as I've pointed out to Dwibs before, this is the one disguise where in both the movie and the TV show, the voices that were used by both actors were incredibly similar.
Well, yeah. Well, this is the typical sailor voice, though.
But they went for something completely different with the other.
Yeah, with Stefano especially. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, behind
What?
Captain Sham.
Captain Sam, you're a sham.
You know, I
Jova,
just got...
go to the pungeon.
Yeah.
And
You
you're
know, just-
coming with me then.
I mean, why would you wait? Hold on. Why would you trust anybody with the name Sham? It's like,
Oh, come on, Deji.
you're-
Don't be judgmental.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a harmless sailor.
And to be fair, I actually do know someone whose last name is Sham.
Did he turn out to be a sham?
No, actually, surprisingly, he's a legit businessman.
Wait, his last name's Sham and he's a businessman.
That's hilarious.
Brilliant.
I'm actually not kidding. My mom knows quite a lot of strange people, being a doctor.
Okay,
and
Did
all.
he take up that profession on purpose because of his name?
Oh, actually, my mom said that. Well, yeah, he's an old college friend of my mom's. Basically, she said that actually was kind of his life's ambition.
just for the irony.
Yep. Well, that and also his parents thought it would be good, and he agreed.
How traumatizing. Oh, yeah. Whether it's a personal nitpick or a bit of a plot hole in the movie is really up to the viewer. But that's the last time we see Captain Sham.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I get the feeling we're being watched.
Is that a man or a woman?
No, they're both women. Does anyone know you are going this way?
How very lovely of a specific song. Come, sweet Josephine, in my flying machine.
Well, to be fair, I wouldn't want to be here either, especially with a hurricane bearing down. On Joe.
Jojo?
Hi, Joe.
Uh-oh. Well, crud.
Ah. Well, see you later. Get it? See?
How will I throw you into that pun dungeon?
Nah, I'll just go there myself.
Pungeon.
Now, you see why you end up going there, Austin Giroy? Okay, now they actually do a good mystery for this segment. I'll give them that.
Well, she did bang on throughout most of this about how she loves grammar, which kind of tips Klaus off.
There you go. Well, it depends on how the psychosis goes.
Yeah, people act differently. But did he, though? Codebreakers of the Great War.
It's a puzzle.
No, it's a video game cheating device.
Well, funny enough, this movie did have a video game based on it.
I was just gonna mention that. Did anybody play that?
Yes.
I did.
How is it?
A bit
It's
of
good.
it.
So who's recording it?
Me, I
Either
guess.
Me or Dwibs, I guess. Unless
Yeah.
you want to, Deji.
I never played it. That's why I asked.
Yeah. Okay, me or Dwibs.
Well, you've got a bit of a assignment. You got a bit of a task before you get there.
Duck!
Where?
About the duck.
The sequence plays out differently in the show, but I do like how it's played out here.
If a duck.
Did they establish beforehand that they had suspicions he was investigating fires?
No, I think
Ooh.
Josephine mentioned something, but I can't remember.
Yeah, Josephine mentioned how she's kind of got a knack for looking into these disasters, to always be prepared.
Well, there goes the window.
And there goes the barrier keeping us from falling. Oh, crap, she was actually right about being afraid of the fridge crushing us.
Yeah, I actually do like this bit, basically all of Josephine's fears coming true. I can understand why they couldn't do it in the show, because the show has a slightly lesser budget than the movie.
But I still like this sequence.
Yeah, me too.
So now you know, Pedro, where David Cage got the inspiration for that scene from Indigo Prophecy from.
Well, this was 2004, and Fahrenheit
The
came out
book came
2000.
out before the movie. The book came out before the game.
Silly
Oh,
Jova.
speaking of duck,
There is a duck.
yeah.
Remember,
What's
Was
Duck-
that the Affleck duck?
Oh no! And now the doorknob handle is too hot to handle.
Funny enough, the duck is voiced by Gilbert. The duck
Oh
is
my god.
remember,
Yeah, that's right. Oh wait! Fun fact, Pedro. That duck that you just heard was
Gilbert
voiced by
Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, cool.
So that's where he got his Affleck deal.
Remember, Jova, David Cage tried reading a book once, and it didn't have any picture, so you could not see the woman smiling. So obviously, there's no emotion in it.
Well, too bad, David Cage. You ripped off a series of unfortunate events, whether you like it or not.
I'm sure. Well, you can't rip off something if you didn't know where you got it from.
Pedro's joking.
Yeah.
Deji.
Well,
So yeah, they're in a bit of a pickle.
So they just have to get across the gap and go for the door that happens to be a little too hot on the handle.
But they can't jump there.
Even if they could jump, Sunny.
Well, they could just toss the babe now.
No.
Deji, tossing a baby. No.
Klaus?
No.
Klaus, kick the baby.
Bad idea.
You know I wasn't being serious, right?
Yeah.
Can't afford to mess this one up.
Well, could you imagine if they missed?
Yeah, I was going to say, this is one of the ones where they got lucky.
Well, again, Shiroy, they get lucky a lot on the book series too, and in terms of them getting it on the first try, this is kind of one that demands they get it right on the first try, because otherwise, well...
Well, they've
But
got
what are the
that.
chances that it's going to fall the other way?
Shiroy, wasn't that also the case in the book too, though, to be fair?
No, I don't think they had this bit
Nope.
in the book. They just managed to run out in time.
Oh, that. Well, I guess they added it on. But again, I mean, like, well, this is one of those cases where you
If this
kinda-
was a Michael Bay movie, there'd be an explosion right now.
Yeah, that would have exploded as soon as it hit the water.
Yeah, I don't think Brad Silberling like explode. I don't think there's ever been an explosion in a Brad Silberling movie though. Funnily enough, Snicket, the actual Lemony Snicket himself, or his real name's Daniel Handler, he was actually meant to write this film, and Barry Sonnenfeld would be the director, but stuff happened, and well, now we got this one.
But according to Dwibs, there is a commentary of the movie.
Yeah, well,
Blu-ray or DVD or...
well, the DVD. Two commentaries, one from just the director, and one with the director and Lemony Snicket himself.
Actually, in the TV show, they went on a boat during the hurricane, so...
Well, to be fair, he said the stormy seas of Lake Lachrymose, but the storm's passed.
Exactly.
But the whole Barry Sonnenfeld and Daniel Handler thing actually did happen in the TV show, so it turned from what could have been to what was eventually. It took a while. But
And
don't worry.
according...
Sorry, go on, Siri.
Oh, no, what? No, keep going.
But don't worry, guys. I only had to wait 13 years to get another thing, and I wasn't sad at all.
It's okay, Dwibs.
Question: why were you so sad about it in the first place?
Because I was a bit disappointed that we never actually got an actual sequel.
And also, Dwibs.
Oh,
grew
yeah,
up
me
with these
too.
books, so...
Oh,
So what did you say? What did you say, Shiwi?
I said you grew up reading these too, so...
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I agree.
It's like
but
being
that-
a Harry Potter fan. If they never made a...
Am I going to say, Jova?
Officer, so...
Well, in that regard, I agree with you. I was really sad when it turned out that this movie wasn't getting a sequel because, again, they seem to have something of a formula here that I think they would have definitely have refined for the sequel. Like, think about like a video game where, you know, the first is good, but obviously has some rough patches. I do think that they would have gotten something working with the sequel. But again, Paramount Pictures just had to executive meddle something.
Paramount Pictures, executive meddling? Wait, are they owned by Viacom?
Deji, not for nothing, but you're kind of being a bit high on the decibel count again.
What?
Decibel.
What?
Actually, I don't know. I think it was
just-
fun
I
now,
know.
but whatever.
I thought it was fun too, but... Yeah.
Wait, are they owned by Viacom?
Viacom, yeah.
Yeah, that... Okay, look.
and fun-
Viacom ruins everything.
And funnily enough, Paramount, well, their television division did handle the Netflix show too. So,
But the show is fine so far.
like I said, well, remember, Shira, it's their TV division, not their film division.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know they have MTV. They don't play music anymore.
Oh no, not the Realtors.
I don't think MTV has played music for years.
I know. I actually
I hate to be that book nitpicker again, but wasn't that lighthouse supposed to shine a purple light?
Yes, it is supposed to show a purple light.
Yeah. Also, okay, as good as the production design is, I've really got to say the matte paintings look really dodgy. It's clear they're just filming in a studio.
Yeah.
But I guess that's you know, the complaints people always say that CGI is always bad and matte paintings are always good thing.
Not really. I never heard anyone say that. The matte paintings is always a good thing anyway. There's been plenty of bad matte painting even back when before CGI was a thing.
CGI gets way too much hate.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to the point where honestly, people will literally just say it's CGI, therefore it's bad or sucks, and people.
I mean, I
just
can understand
work for
some
CGI.
people's issues with CGI, especially with films
The
concerning
problem.
some...
Okay.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
sometimes they look a bit too plastic, and so it doesn't feel like they're actually interacting with the environment.
Yeah.
I get that, but again, it's still new. It's relatively new compared to hand.
Yeah, and besides, there can be such a thing as bad practical effects too.
Yes, of course.
Iron Man suits CGI.
And the thing is, Deji, it's one of those things where I think Christopher Nolan put it best that the problem is that Hollywood takes too many shortcuts in the sense that there's a lot of times where things that can be done with practical effects, they do it in CG because it's easier. Like, for example, in Social Network, where David Fincher could have just gotten the actors into a cold place, but instead he lazily just added CGI breath into the post-production. That's a case of...
And it looks ridiculous.
That's one of the big problems. One of the animated problems with CGI is the fact that it allows the filmmakers to be lazy.
Now, unfortunately, these people are getting attacked by the titular man-eating leeches.
Jover, I don't think a person of your age should be saying the word titular.
Thankfully, we have a rescue boat coming.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. We got a rescuer coming for us.
Chip and Dale.
Hero.
Yay! It's Count Olaf.
Hello.
Hello, hello. And now that I wonder if this series as a whole is a parody of stuff just having a happy ending just cause.
Yeah, pretty much.
What a great guardian she is, isn't he?
Yeah.
So she's gone from being an adventurous woman to
a coward.
A coward.
Admittedly, yeah, losing her husband to the leeches really did a number on her psyche. In fact, she's about to get called out for that.
Oops.
Oh dear.
Psychologically complex to point out the grammar mistakes. And that's actually going to cause her to have to meet her end.
What I learned today is being a grammar Nazi can get you killed.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's so insistent that everyone states the literal sense of a grammar.
So one thing I should mention, there's a deleted scene where we actually see Josephine king into the lake.
Yep. We kind of see it in the show, but not full-blown.
It's drowning.
And the leeches tore apart his head.
Well, he didn't eat, to be fair, so... Also, out of the three Baudelaires, I think the better actor is Violet's.
Mm-hmm.
There's a term for that. We call it stalking.
Hey, I don't know, man. Amy Rose does it all the time.
But it's played for laughs. Isn't it funny that she's a stalker yandere?
Well, guys, she still needs to shave that cute little sphinx.
Okay.
I never understood that song.
Now coming up is quite the most controversial part of this movie for book fans.
Eh?
Well, controversial. You either like it or you don't.
Oh, is it because of like how the next sequence of events is about to turn up?
Pretty much.
Well, I actually think people would be glad that they didn't, cut out that part from the first book.
So, and now we've gone from the third book to the last bit of the first.
Honestly, considering how climatic the ending of the first book is, I can see why they would want to end on it.
That's what I said too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's fine enough, but they even changed the actual ending of it.
Oh, well, they still leave it open for the sequels.
No, what we mean is how a particular thing happens. But we'll
I
get to
know.
that later.
Oh, that. I know that too. I guess for the sake of it, they did it for the sake of giving it a more climatic feel. And to be fair, actually, it's kind of an improvement in regards to how smart the villain is as well.
Hooray! But yeah, Jova, and we'll get to that bit later. But there's a point of contention fans of the book have with how the scene is done.
Is it because it's done differently, or because they just then and now explain the ramifications of it?
It kind of robs a character of something in favor of another.
Oh, yeah, your mileage is going to vary.
Yeah, it's not as severe as.
I mean,
as
it's
that,
not terrible.
It's not as severe as Aang's supposed Katara speech in The Last Airbender, but it's still quite controversial.
Also, just in case Dwibs didn't mention it before, Justice Strauss' actress is not in the same role.
Yeah, she's in the TV show, but she plays a different character.
Who is
She plays an important role, but not that role.
Yeah.
What book?
The fourth
The
one.
fourth book.
Let me guess. Hold up. Let me type it. To Shira.
Okay.
Damn.
You got it, Deji.
Deji got it.
Da, da, da,
All right, I got it.
da, da, da.
Oh. Now here's another one too, which will become more clear later.
Yep.
When will heroes ever learn not to tell villains to let the damsels or whatever that they have hanging to let them go?
To quote the Joker from The Dark Knight, poor choice of words.
Very poor choice of words.
Clang.
And down will come baby cradle and all. So
Squash.
basically, Violet has to marry him in a play, which of course he's going to fake with an actual real document, so that he can be the natural owner of their fortune.
And then he'll kill them, and then he'll be rich.
And live happily ever after.
I mean, he lives happily ever after.
Exactly.
So the creator of this book just watched the Tom and Jerry movie. It's like, you know what? I could make an entire book about the whole "we've got to have money" premise.
Oh, play's about to start. What is he wearing on his head, by the way?
I think he's trying to parody Van Gogh.
Yep.
No, he's going all Sonic Boom on us.
Ah, fuck.
Oh no, Deji's berserk button.
That's not my berserk button. Look. Like I said, if he's in forces, I'll be happy.
If what now?
If
Olaf's in forces?
If Boom Sonic is in forces, I'll be happy.
Why is that? Hold on. Why is that, Deji?
For just to see the reaction.
All right.
Well,
That's not gonna happen. Sonic Team Japan doesn't
go.
like Boom Sonic, so
Let's just try and keep this on this kind of topic.
Also, can we get a Count Olaf Generations mod? Thank you.
That would be awesome. Count Olaf Jim Carrey and Count Olaf Neil Patrick
Harris.
Yeah, Jim Carrey can be classic Olaf.
Olaf Generations. See, yeah, okay. Here's what I can bring up. In the books and the TV show, they clearly established that the play they're performing is actually at a theatre that's a bit of a distance away from Olaf's house.
Well,
So it's natural they couldn't really. No one could tell that Sonny was in danger. But here, Sonny's right near the frigging place.
They'd
She's
have
on
to
the
look-
side of the house. In fact, as we'll see later, the audience, if any one of them were to turn around, they would be able to see her.
So what you're saying is everyone's an idiot.
Yes,
Well, that's always been the case in this series.
I know, but I mean, they could have at least put her around the the back of the house, I should say.
It's been a while since I've seen this, so I'll just wait and see for that perspective.
Now, she can't be
Okay.
seen at all in the TV show by anyone who's at the theatre.
Yeah. See, look, they're all turning around now.
Well, they can't see Klaus.
Well, it's going to be worse for in a bit.
You'll see what I'm talking about later, Jova.
Anyway, here comes Count Olaf. I mean, him.
Surprise.
Surprise.
Look away,
Whoa.
children!
Look away.
Looks like he's
Go
been
away.
beheaded
Yes, he has.
and disarmed.
Yes, he has. Elaborate.
Wow. Here comes the bride. A bit. Sorry. I'll sing it next minute, and this bit comes around. Hang on.
What?
Here comes Count Olaf. A bit of a show off.
Mm.
See, look, Justice Strauss is right there, and she's not in on the plan. All she has to do is look up and say, is that a baby in the cage?
It's a stage, Brock.
Well, okay, to be fair, Dwibs, looking from that distance, you wouldn't be able to see the actual baby in the cage. I mean, for all they know, it's just a cage up there from that vanity.
But wouldn't you wonder why there's a cage dangling outside of a house?
Yeah, well, weird people.
Birds.
It depends. How's the angle? Because basically, it's a stage trick usually.
We'll
a way
see in a
people
moment,
keep.
actually.
Mhm.
Especially in sickness, considering him. Why's the bar sticking on the metal pin, Daddy?
As far as the audience know, that's a stage prop. It is.
Oh, I just Dustin Hoffman.
Good old.
The overall look of the movie feels very Tim Burton-ish, just like the show.
Not to mention the cast as well.
All right, okay. Here's another change from the books coming up. In a moment. Come on, Violet. You gotta sign it. Okay, in the books, the whole marriage certificate thing was kind of laws regarding signing the marriage certificate thing was important because in order for a marriage to become valid in this universe, you have to sign the certificate with your writing hand, in which case is Violet's right.
Bullshit. I mean,
That
to be
actually
fair,
is how some laws were back then, Deji.
I
Yeah.
know. I know, and plus,
Now, if I was going to do that here...
No, wait. You did say that it's established in universe.
Okay, now I was going to... Violet was going to do that, but Olaf noticed, and now she has to do it with her actual hand.
I mean, okay, to its credit, they still do try and do it, but it does at least give Olaf a bit of a smarter moment. I guess
A ray of
if,
hope.
Yeah. I guess it depends on how strict you want to like the book. For me, I like it because I see it as a means to, actually have Olaf catch on to something so obviously against him. And I do actually like the climax here better than me.
Although I should point out that Olaf before this has never seen, even in the TV show, he's never seen Violet write. So he wouldn't know which hand is her actual writing hand.
He was able to tell because her left hand was trembling when she tried to write with it. That's actually a common thing you can tell when someone's trying to write with what's not their writing hand.
And now here's another aspect that carried over from this film show, how the fire actually started.
Turns out Olaf killed their parents.
By shining that glass thing at it.
Sure,
It's actually a very intensified one. Like, you know how you can burn an ant using a magnifying glass? If you have the glass magnified just to the right dexterity,
Behind you!
then yeah, you can intensify the heat of it.
Also, in the TV show, this particular henchman is my favorite, but in the movie, they have no personality.
Yeah, I established that earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Also, this is the point right here.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, you talk about this? Well, I mean, okay, it makes sense that they would be able to see him clearly. He's a lot bigger than Sonny.
But how come Justice Strauss can't see?
Yeah, she's right there. It's like, hello, everyone can see you.
Well, that's simple. She's not looking that way. See, it's a common actor's trick to basically misdirect the audience from looking away from what's obviously there. That's how a lot of special effects are done.
But
In
Olaf's
musicals
a
and
shit
whatnot.
actor.
Hmm?
But Olaf's a shit actor.
A shit actor played by a good one.
Yeah. How's that?
Remember, adults are idiots in this universe.
Oops.
Yes.
I'll be back to kill Clout. I mean, to do something in 13 years.
Yeah, in the book, in the TV show, she stays on the stage and she tries to help.
Yeah. Is that a crime, Joe, being a greedy monster?
No,
Is that no?
okay.
Not gonna say it. Not gonna say it.
Okay. It's a crime to a banker, but no. Let's be honest, it's not an actual crime.
You still there, Shuri?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Olaf's calling out Mr. Poe for being an idiot. All right, coming up is another little issue I have. Basically, they did do the marriage correctly according to the rules, but apparently in this universe, if you just burn the certificate, it doesn't count anymore.
That's the case with a lot of things, actually, surprisingly.
And
But
the
there's
thing
there's
is-
hundreds
wait
of
a minute.
witnesses there.
One thing to validate a marriage in real life is there need to be witnesses, even if it's just one or two.
You know, this is the second Nickelodeon movie where official certificate/document got burnt.
But hey, look at it like this.
The first is the Hey Arnold movie.
But hey, look at it like this, guys. Still better fire effects than in Last Airbender.
Okay, Jova, we get it. You hate that. We all hate that movie. You don't need to convince us of anything.
And
I'm not
also, I
trying
should
to.
point out that this is the worst one where it turns to, them getting out of this shit, because what are the chances that the sun would appear at that moment? Even in fiction. Bye. And
See ya.
then he died.
And he was eaten. But he survived. And then he died again.
He survives
died.
this.
He probably lost all his limbs. Wait,
It's like,
where's
what
that?
did they do? Did they actually let it crash into him, or did they just stop the train last second? Like, what?
They
Also, wait,
probably
where's that?
did that.
Where's that? Also, hang on, that light's still shining. Does that mean they're accidentally burning down another house?
No,
Shit,
thankfully.
the theater's burning down right now.
Fuck.
So there you go, leaving open room for a sequel.
Get it? Leaving open because the gate's open.
Welcome to Series of Unfortunate Events. Well, actually,
I don't think this town even actually has a name.
no, that was terrible. Let me try that again. Ladies and gentlemen of Squirm Comps, welcome to Series of Unfortunate Events. Dun, 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 dun. I'll actually hum the main theme of this movie. There you go.
Dun, 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 dun.
And we end the movie with them going back to where they started. Literally. Well, kinda, sorta.
It's poetic.
It's called a bookend in TV tropes.
Also, I don't know about you, but the layout of this house looks suspiciously similar to Count Olaf's.
Yep. Yes, it does.
So what you're saying is that this is actually Count Olaf's house, except reinvented.
Unless all like big mansions are laid out in this way, yeah, I am pretty sure this was the set for Olaf's house too.
Yeah.
Maybe they filmed the ending first and then this bit. No,
Yeah.
and then Olaf's house, and then they destroyed it even more to create.
To create Olaf's.
You know, at this rate, Loops, you and Shira should just make a channel called Cinematic Theory.
I'm not very good at theorizing. I'm good at bouncing off of other
hey, Jova.
people's theories, but I can't theorize on my own terms.
Hey, Jovi.
WD
But that's
gas.
just a theory, Shira.
Hey, Jovi. Hey, Jovi, do you know
A
what
movie
I just...
theory.
Hey, Jovi, do you know what I just came up with?
What?
A show called Horror Theory. Get it? Fear, horror, theory, fear.
Yes, I get it. Puzzle game right on time.
Also,
Actually, it's quite late.
I stopped by a burning house. Should I maybe take the mail back to the office? No, just leave it here. Someone will be there for it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I don't know how they deal with this in well, no, because this isn't in the show as of yet, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The first season is going over the first 4 books, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good.
one series will cover 5 books, I imagine.
Yeah, because I'm planning on making 3 series.
Seasons.
Well, seasons or whatever.
Hold on. I thought you said, though, that the first season was covering the first 4. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Remember the 13
4,
books, Jovi.
8, 13.
Never
Yeah,
mind. I
2
thought you were talking about the first one when you said 1.
Wait, you said 5, don't you mean 6?
No,
Wait.
Deji.
God
4
damn.
plus 5
Oh,
plus
God,
4.
now you're confusing me.
No, okay, one season of 5 episodes and 2 seasons of 4. That makes 13.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Ah, the organization is coming.
Aww.
Roll credits.
Oh, credits.
Don't you see, children? This will all somehow turn out for the better. Spoilers, no, it won't.
Yeah.
That's not how the story goes.
That's not how the story goes.
That ending theme is so depressing.
Which it makes sense.
It does. It's like you just summed up the entire series.
Yeah.
Can I go first since Oh, never mind.
What? The movie's not over yet.
I know.
Also,
I
you're gonna wanna watch the-
I just wanted to ask to be the first, just in case.
Oh, yeah. Also, you may want to watch the credits. The credits actually have some neat animations coming.
Sure.
And there's the spyglass, which will get somewhat of a build up
So this is where Spyglass Entertainment came from.
in the Netflix show, which
God
is 30
damn.
years away.
Well, to be fair, this was the build-up, obviously, for the sequels to come.
That's one thing I do. That's one thing I do. That's one thing I do appreciate about the show. It doesn't flat
Movie.
out pretend like the show. It doesn't pretend. It doesn't
You said
eschew
this.
anything about. Anyway, I do like how the show just doesn't like outright eschew the movie entirely. It does bring over some aspects from the movie into here, into the show.
Ooh.
Sorry,
Do tell.
the spy glasses, the
More
secret
humor to
organization
Olaf?
stuff. Yeah, and some nice musical numbers.
Oh, good. I'm glad that they keep some of the humor brought to this movie to Count Olaf intact, because I'll be quite honest.
The show has Neil.
first few-
In the show, it's Neil Patrick Harris playing him. So yeah, you can expect
Yeah.
some awesome stuff in it.
Oh yeah, awesome stuff, but still keep the humor, because without that humor, Olaf is a bit.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
fortunate.
there you
indeed.
go. Don't you see, Shuri? The movie admits that they are very fortunate and lucky in some sense.
They didn't get a sequel.
Because
Anyway, Shuri.
out!
Anyway, Shuri, when we're done with this, we got to show Jova the "It's the Count" song from the show.
I'm still
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
like,
totally,
reacting to
yeah.
the show myself.
Yeah,
Like,
the song itself isn't a spoiler, Jova.
Yeah,
I know
it's
that.
nothing spoilery. It's just Olaf being up his own ass.
Yeah,
Funny, I hope.
yeah, it's funny. And now we got some nice 2D animation here for the ending.
If a catchy is all heck tooed.
Well, it's Thomas Newman.
Yeah.
Well, Thomas Newman, when he wasn't stuck doing, trying to work with ship material.
Although I don't get why is it that in the actual Netflix show they didn't get the window to be wide? I mean, heck, that's the actual title of the name's book.
It just
I
looks
guess,
like an ordinary window, whereas that the one we see in this movie looks really grand.
my guess is budget. It's just a guess, though.
I mean, I can get constraining for budget, but don't do it to the namesake of the story.
Well, it's disappointing, I'll admit. Oh, Barry Sonnenfeld, hello. So he was the executive producer, or he was originally meant to be the director. But like I said, I've already explained that stuff earlier. So anyway, that was Series of Unfortunate Events, the 2004 movie. So
Paige,
Paige,
you
since
go
you have to go
first.
first, we'll start with you.
Indeed. Yeah, it's a fine movie. It's not exactly my kind of my cup of tea, but it's good for what it is. It's funny. It's quirky. Like I said, I haven't read the book, so I don't know about the whole questionable creative liberties they take. But like just based on its own merits as a movie in general, yeah, it's fine. It's not exactly something I'd go out of my way to watch, but it's fine for what it is. Personally, I mean, granted, I've only seen the first episode, but so far I actually think I prefer the show over this one. I mean,
I can definitely understand that.
I mean, the movie's fine, but I think the show overall I thought was better written and
Well, it actually has the author writing most of the episodes.
yeah, that explains
I
it
mean,
then.
Snicket's still alive.
Yeah.
Well,
But
Joe, the book's only started in 1999.
Jim Carrey's great. I'm glad that I at least got to see at least one other movie where I can say he's great because it's been a long time since I was able to say that.
Damn.
Oh, really?
What about Bruce
Ouch.
Almighty?
I didn't like Bruce Almighty, honestly.
Run, Pedro, I'm just gonna give you some advice. Run.
Run where?
Run, Pedro, before the eyes come and get you.
The
okay.
comment section.
Whatever. I mean, I don't think Bruce Almighty's even that sacred of a cow, honestly. I mean, whatever. The point is, yeah, it's a fine movie, but personally, I prefer the show. Go ahead.
You know, be quite honest, one little bit. I'm surprised Tim Burton didn't have any hand in this movie, considering how this movie is really up his alley, especially in parts like this.
All right, so who's next?
Shiroi.
All right, it's a really funny movie. Like I said, my only real issue is the pacing of it and how much they left out. They left out far too much. And, some of the little plot holes here and there. But apart from that, I really like the set design, the costumes. The acting was good, considering the cast. And, that was literally my only gripe with it, was the pacing. So, I have the TV show now, so at least there's that. And it seems to be going a lot better so far. So, yeah, it's a decent movie.
I see.
Ha, ha, ha.
Get it? Eyes. I see what you did there.
Aye. All right, I'll go next. I'll repeat what Shiro said. The pacing is my biggest issue with this movie, and it doesn't make me, considering the kids go from a guardian to guardian, I don't really feel as if we have the time to grow with the guardians.
Well, you're kind of not supposed to, because the guardians often end up,
Yeah, I know, but it's more like, at least we'll get to know them, and like their deaths will make you feel, oh man, that sucks. Because when Montgomery, Monty died in the show, I generally felt bad. When Josephine died, I actually did feel kind of bad for her, even if she did get on my nerves. This is just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I can see why that'd be a problem. All right, so are you done, Deji?
Yeah, and all I can just say is, if you really do want to get into this, just watch the Netflix show instead.
There's more to uncover in the show, which we actually will do commentaries on in the future.
Yeah.
But anyway, now it's my turn. Basically what Shiroy and Deji said. The biggest problem with this movie is the pacing. Still, Captain Sam's credited and yet his scene isn't in the movie. Anyway, I don't hate the movie. I still think it's a lot of fun, but I do still have my issues with it, especially when it comes to the pacing. It's really, it can't decide whether it wants to just sell by stuff real quickly or take its time. It's really all over the place when it comes to the pacing. But I do like the set design. I like Jim Carrey, even if he does get a bit too wacky to the point where I can't really take it off all that seriously. And the actress playing Violet is good. I'm not too sold on Liam Aiken as Klaus, though, I gotta say. But overall, it's a decent movie with flaws that I'm sure could have been fixed in a sequel if it got one, but it didn't, so there you go.
Yeah, we have to look at it as it is. So.
Yeah, and the long wait between this and the Netflix show, it hurt me a lot.
I agree.
It hurt me. Okay, I'm done.
So is me.
Yeah, at least you, Joe.
Yeah, I'll say maybe it's biased because this movie was actually my first exposure to the series, but okay, I'll say this. Reptile Room aside, I do feel like this movie is overall a pretty good start to an adaptation series of movies. Jim Carrey was pretty great as Count Olaf, and I feel that he injected some much-needed humor to Count Olaf, at least for the first 3 books. That was pretty good. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Lemony Snicket actually took some inspiration considering the dark humor involving Count Olaf in later books coming after. I do like the acting. The actors do pretty good, I think, overall. The movie works well with its elements, again, except for Reptile Room. Okay, and I will say this. Reptile Room, despite being cut a lot, I do feel that they at least do put a lot of heart into the actual set and, the setting of that tale and whatnot. Although I will say this, I have no idea why they would decide to cut that out. I mean, it's not like they were that far over the 90-minute mark, but some stupid Hollywood idea. But yeah. I also do like how they do the ending here better than the book. Yeah, I mean, again, I guess I'm just a sucker for the more climactic element in this case. But I do feel like, well, that this movie, for all its ups and downs, does do a good job of at least setting out the stage for the series, as well as having a good way to start and end it. Like, I gotta admit, I mean, well, you know, like, well, having, like, the first half of the first book take place and then having the last half be the end, that's actually pretty clever. And, yeah, I will say that, honestly, I recommend that you still watch this movie. I mean, and yeah, I guess watch it before the Netflix series, since the Netflix series will probably go further. But, like, yeah, I definitely say that, like, well, you might be doing yourself a disservice not watching this movie. I mean, I'm not going to say it's perfect or anything, but as far as adaptations go, in fact, as far as movies go in general, it's a nice, unique case that I definitely would recommend watching. I'm not quite sure. Well, actually, I am sure you'll have fun with it. But even if you don't, consider it a nice experience to compare to the Netflix series. Maybe you like something's better there. Maybe you like something's better here. And gosh darn, is the music wonderful for this movie. Stupid.
All right. So
But
you're
yeah,
done, Gemma?
overall, a fun adventure that, while it has some problems, is definitely a delight.
So that was our commentary on the series of unfortunate events, the 2004 movie. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned in the future for our commentaries on the 2017 Netflix show.
Yay. All right.
And
See you
maybe
then.
someday we'll
See
do
you for that.
commentaries on the books themselves, too.
See you, everybody.
Yeah,
See ya.
maybe. All right, see ya.